2 hours non-stop NBA DFS conversation starts right now, taking all the way up the lock. 10 games, I believe, actually in the real NBA slate, but just seven that we're going to be talking about. 7 on the main DK slate, 7 on the main FanDuel slate. Both sites did cooperate. We're back from the All-Star break, a week off or so. Bobby, how you feeling? You feeling a little bit refreshed? Myself and Bobby Gomes for the next hour and change, so we'll yield to TJ Zwarych, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Canada, as well as Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, coming up later for Crunch Time. This Bobby, you were probably doing restaurant stuff and probably doing parenting stuff. I imagine, Bobby. How was your All-Star break?
That was pretty much it. Yeah, restaurant stuff, parenting stuff. Totally out on kids, as we talked about, but I think I say it every show. It's very irresponsible having 3 kids in a span of 3 years. Yeah, but
it's like that meme. Like who can we blame for this?
It takes 2 to tango, Dean. Obviously,
you're not taking full responsibility or any.
Not taking full responsibility. No way. Yeah.
Gotcha. Full responsibility.
We went skating today. My daughter met Elsa and Anna from Frozen.
Sure.
And she's obsessed with them at the house. And then we went over and to talk to them and everything, and she just stood there and wouldn't say anything and was just looking at them. Yeah.
She was shy around Elsa.
She was very shy. Yeah, she was very shy.
I haven't seen. That's Frozen, right? I have not seen Frozen because I, in parts, do. I don't have.
I've seen it enough times for the both of us.
You can sing it for us, word for word, if necessary.
If I have to, yeah. If I have to.
Producer Steve was asking us if we. What was that? If we built a snowman? Who was asking if we? Do you want to build a snowman?
That's from Elsa. Yeah.
Oh, that's from the songs. Okay, that's not an original. I've heard that song before, unless it's a different spin on it.
And it's a different spin on it. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely a different spin.
We have Tim in chat saying touching grass is the worst. I guess Tim touched some grass over the break as well. Thursday morning, I woke up to a flood in my house. So that was basically what I've done for the last so many. I had I can't think of the word, not defibrillators, not dehydrators, D something that sucks up the water from the floor, running 24/7 in my house for 5 days. And I was losing my mind. So
it's funny you say that because I had a flood in my building. I live in a huge apartment building and the water just stopped at my apartment.
Well, there you go. Lucky you.
Yeah, it didn't hit my apartment.
Why couldn't I think of that word? Yeah, I had 11 dehumidifiers in my house. So that's what I was doing and dealing with for the last so many days. But all right, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on those notifications. It is a Fleet Thursday. People in chat were asking about it. Bobby, super excited. He's pumped. He was not that excited about the slate. They said, "Oh, wait a second, it's Thursday, Fleet Thursday." I'm excited now, and I'm bringing up one of our old classic clues. People love this clue. The chat loves this clue. You get a week free of RG Premium. You tell me what athlete I'm talking about. Be the first to do so. The Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. The first clue is retired. This person is retired. So you can cross a lot of people off the list. Also, a lot still remaining. A lot of athletes are retired. Bobby, news-wise, not a ton of news, right? We're back from the All-Star break. Most of these teams, like some of them got healthier. We have this absolutely gross tankathon. It's a back-to-back tankathon. We have a bunch of teams playing the front half of a back-to-back. Of course, none playing the back end. But it's Atlanta, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Cleveland, Denver, the Clippers. We don't care about that game, but they're playing front end for what it's worth. They're all on the front end. But Washington, Indiana, the game that has the best players projected as far as point per dollar cheapies on the whole, 2 teams that very much absolutely want to lose. They're going to do their best to lose. They're playing each other again tomorrow night, and just try to figure out minutes and rotations. Going to be really, really tricky. Indiana does have some guys currently questionable. Pascal already ruled out for the Pacers. Sarr ruled out for Washington. But otherwise, on this slate, we already have Embiid rolled out. Some players are done for the year. Just not on the slate, but Zach LaVine's done for the year. They officially ruled out Kyrie Irving. He's done for the year if you missed that news. Sabonis is out for the year as well. I think there's a couple other players, not necessarily relevant to this conversation, but yeah, we have like 28 games left or so, kind of a sprint until we get to some playoff jockeying, some tankathon jockeying, and the Indiana Washington game seriously is going to be pretty gross, I think. And there's a lot of questionable players right now on Indiana: Quentin Jackson, T.J. McConnell, Naismith, Michael Potter. I assume what's going on there is they're going to rest some of these guys tomorrow, and they're not going to play both games. Again, they are certainly incentivized to lose because their pick is only protected top 4. So, good luck. And Sacramento is just like incredible at tanking right now. I got a fun fact for you, Bobby. Sacramento Kings, I think they've lost 13 in a row. Spectacular job of losing. The Denver Broncos have won more recently than the Sacramento Kings. Remember them? Remember the Denver Broncos?
Yeah.
They've won more recently than the Sacramento Kings. So,
yeah, it's not that surprising. Sacramento, just another one of the pitiful organizations in sports, I would say.
One of the worst. One of the absolute worst in the Big Four. Dreadful. They are getting Keegan Murray. I don't know why I'm talking about the Kings. They are not even on our slate, but they lost Sabonis. Whenever we talk about the Kings, they also lost Zach LaVine. And I think, the big man they just signed to a 4-year deal. I forget his name, but he's also out for a while too. It's Renault season for the Kings, tank season for the Kings, but really not a lot of injuries we're monitoring right now on this slate. Some things can change, I suppose, but as of right now, it's the Indiana stuff, and kind of like just starting lineups for the Pacers is going to be noteworthy as well. But yeah, Embiid already ruled out for the Sixers. Of course, we have Paul George ruled out for the next, was it a 25-game suspension for the foreseeable future? We're not going to see him for a while. Claxton already ruled out for Brooklyn against Cleveland, scheduled blowouts. Do we have any big picture thoughts as far as the slate tonight? If we hit refresh, lineup HQ, and just going to run a bunch of lineups, you're going to get a lot of Pacers and Sixers, basically. The absence of Embiid, the absence of George. And the Pacers are really cheap. Vucevic is a really good price on DK as well. That's kind of the nature of the slate. Also, is cheap centers. Vucevic is one of them. Sharp for Brooklyn projects really well. The Detroit guys, the big men, are still out due to their suspension, so we still have Paul Reed. Not necessarily, he's not super, super cheap anymore, but still projecting really well, point per dollar against New York. Not a great environment. That is the front half of the national TV game. The Peacock doubleheader is Detroit and New York. We're expecting Paul Reed to be the starter there with the absence of 2 of their big men. Cheap centers. And then if you want to spend up to be different, on centers, it's certainly a route you can consider on the slate. But you got anything to say as far as overview when it comes to tonight's 7-gamer?
Yeah, overview. The Philly guys with George and Embiid out, specifically Barlow, Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, I like a good bit. Adam Bona, I think those guys are very strong plays on the slate. And then the indie guys, we're still waiting on news. But Jay Huff, Jerace Walker, I think those guys are pretty much fine. We need Mekhi Potter to be in. TJ McConnell, would like to see him be in as well. Aaron Nesmith's minutes are probably what they are at 5,600. I don't think they're going to change much. But yeah, mainly I'm getting a lot of Philly in Atlanta. Really like, obviously, Jalen Johnson. I'm interested in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'll have some CJ McCollum as well. I'm getting a good bit of like this Philly in Atlanta game. It is the highest total game on the slate, and it's a 1-point spread, 1.5 point spread. So I think that's the game I'm targeted more. And then we're waiting on this Indy news. Definitely some Indy value. Favorite pay-up studs on the slate, probably Maxey, Cade Cunningham, and Jalen Johnson for me currently. And that's kind of how I'm approaching the slate. I don't think we need to really backload for anything. Like if you get some of these Raptors or Bulls guys or Phoenix Suns, San Antonio, Wemby's obviously always in play. But for me, I'm like not planning to backload. I'm going to be whatever I get in these first games. I'm just going to take it. Obviously, I'll sit by my computer throughout the whole slate. If anything comes up that changes, like it changes. But right now, like I think the 7 o'clock games think I'm going to be pretty front loaded as I would believe most of the industry is going to be.
Yeah, you could be done at 7:00. 4 of the 7 games are 7:00. You could be done if you want to. There's a 7:30 game that's kind of by itself. Detroit and New York. There's a new Toronto Chicago game at 8:00, and then 8:30 Phoenix San Antonio, and that's it, right? So 4 of the 7 locked at 7:00, and then every half hour we get a new one. Interesting hammers in Wemby. Like I spent him to be different. He's pretty good price on DK. Wemby single-handedly bringing back the All-Star game, I'm told. Apparently, it turns out just trying a little bit. He got everybody to try, and I guess the format too. They kind of like the versus the world. I only caught some of that. So I didn't really get the chance to watch it, but I'm told that it was actually pretty good and pretty competitive. So that was good.
Did you see the dunk contest highlights?
No, did not. And a Heat player won it, and I still don't care. Was it bad? It's just.
It was brutal. Yeah, some guy hit his head off the side of the backboard. Yeah.
Intentionally or no? Unintentionally.
Unintentionally. Yeah. Unless it was AI.
That's impressive. That's impressive to do. Like just to have that ability. It could have been AI though. I don't know. I have not seen this, but it's just every dunk's been done. That's it. It's over. We're spoiled now. That's the problem. I don't know what else they can do. But yeah, they're talking about tanking, by the way. We don't have time to get into it, but apparently Shams is reporting that the NBA is serious about tanking stuff. Lottery odds freeze at trade deadline or later. First round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14. I don't know. We'll see. I'd love to see them try to figure out a way, but right out the gate.
Pascal's sitting out for personal reasons tonight in a matchup between the two. Pretty much, what are they? 14 and 15 wins between Indy and Washington. So.
I didn't want to speculate. I don't know how serious. Hopefully everything's okay with him. I don't know maybe it's a baby, somebody ill. It's usually one of those two things. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm hoping that's what it is, but like, I hope it's just not them just giving him, he's personally just whatever, just go chill. But, hopefully things are okay with him, but yeah, he's out tonight and they very much want to
Bless me, Dean. Bless me.
Bless you, sir. By the way, nobody, you're not going to believe us, but nobody was correct on today's Fleet Thursday with the one clue of retired. It's not Dirk Nowitzki or Larry Bird or Dennis Rodman or Nolan Ryan.
That's like I feel like that's your clue. Like every time, retired. They're always retired.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit now, I suppose. But that was the first clue. But they get to, you get more and more information as we progress. I'll give the second clue. The second clue is Trucker. Trucker is the second clue. There's the second clue for the people. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Let's do it. Let's dive in. Let's talk about today's 7-gamer. First game on the docket. It's Atlanta and Philadelphia. And it's a beautiful setup, right? It's high and it's tight. 240.5 is the total. Philadelphia is just a 1.5 point favorite. We like nothing better as far as high and tight. Atlanta plays fast. Now they're pretty healthy, right? As far as who's in and who's out. Atlanta's only missing Kuminga. We've yet to see Kuminga. Anybody else that's of note is available for the Hawks. The Philadelphia side, that's what's more interesting because there's the absence of Joel Embiid. New injury, by the way. It's a shin now, so that's a little bit concerning. Well, they gave him both. Like they gave him a knee and a shin. So he's got a couple body parts. Oubre still on the injury report, but he's going to play. He's available at least. He's got his knee, the brace, and then who else? Oh, well, Paul George. I mentioned before. He's still on there with this league suspension. Maxey, you mentioned Maxey's your favorite player. He's everybody's favorite spend up today. He's an interesting conversation as far as what you do with tournaments because he's going to be the most popular big spend on the slate, I think, by a good bit. Nobody plays more minutes. We know he gets an increase in usage in the absence of Embiid and George. The biggest one, actually, for what it's worth, I was going through Court IQ stuff. VJ Edgecombe gets a bigger one, but Maxey, plays 38 minutes per game, something absurd. The league leader in that, and the nice matchup here against Atlanta. The only tricky part, I suppose, is macro, micro. You don't necessarily like him matching up with Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Thief, too often, but I think the good outweighs the bad. So I think Maxey is still a very, very strong play. We're expecting Maxey to start alongside Edgecombe, Oubre, Barlow, and Bona. Now that stuff could change. Grimes is projecting pretty well as too. Wofford and who knows, Drummond possibly could start as well. Wouldn't shock me. You mentioned Jalen Johnson. I think we talked about him last show. Like, this guy is a triple-double waiting to happen these days, and he just kind of does everything for Atlanta. He also plays a ton of minutes. He's like 6th or 7th or so in the league, minutes per game. And triple-double in 3 of his last 5 games. He's in great form, closing strong, bleeding into the All-Star game, and now going to be asked to do a ton tonight. You said you like this game. I like this game too. Talk to me about the Sixers and the Hawks. And Maxey is going to be chalk. You hyped him before. You're leaning in, it sounds like. You're in on Maxey?
I'm leaning in on Maxey for sure. The Great Barrier Thief is an issue. But with Embiid out, Paul George, there's a lot of usage to go around. So I like Maxey. I like your VJ Edgecombe call as well. We have him for 38 minutes for the bump. So it should be a pretty good spot for him. Barlow, for me, is probably my favorite value power forward center. We have him for 24 minutes. I gave him 3 minutes more than that. I gave him 27. So I'm getting a ton of Barlow. Yeah, Bona, I think he's in play as well. Just you're removing Embiid, and you're obviously Drummond is someone you got to consider as well. But like when Embiid's off, Bona and Drummond will probably handle the center minutes. So getting a good bit of Bona. A lot of the value for me currently is coming from Philly. That could change with like Indy starters and whatever they decide to do with the questionables. I do like your Edgecombe call a good bit, but right now I'm leaning Barlow, Maxey, Edgecombe. If I had to rank them, then I'm getting Bona. From there on the Hawks, like I like Jalen Johnson a ton of 10-4. He's done a lot with his minutes since Trae Young has been out. I was playing him prior to Trae Young being traded and didn't go great, but now it's going fantastic. CJ McCollum and Neil Alexander-Walker. Just want to see what we have for their minutes. CJ we have for 31 currently.
He just doesn't do much but score is kind of my issue with him. He's got to score at least 20 points to get there. And even still, there's no guarantee he gets there by scoring 20.
Yeah. Point guard, shooting guard eligible. I'm getting some CJ. Neil Alexander-Walker's another one I'm getting to a good bit. We have him for 34 minutes. I have him for 33 and a half, and I'm still getting to him. So, yeah, I like a good bit. Yeah, I'm in on this game. Like, I'm probably going to have a lot of this game kind of stacked up. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would say if I don't play Maxey, I'm almost definitely going to play Edgecombe. I don't want to say definitively, but I feel really confident if I don't play Maxey, I'm going to play Edgecombe. I'm playing one of those, at least one of those, probably in every lineup I make. I only make a couple lineups. But I can see myself, if for whatever reason I get away from the Maxey chalk, and Edgecombe's going to be owned too, but like one of those two, I feel pretty confident is going to get home. The Philadelphia big man stuff is pretty tricky, and it's kind of fluid. And you were talking about the minutes for Philadelphia. It's tough. We're giving Bona 24, Barlow 24, Watford 20, Drummond 18 for what it's worth. I just think there's a lot of big variance. I think there's big variance in that. I don't know if I need any of them. Watford's the most interesting just because he's the best fantasy point minute player amongst when compared against Barlow, but his minutes are probably not as secure. Drummond just I don't see myself playing Drummond just because of there's so many, not so many, but there's enough centers that are super cheap that their minutes are more solidified. So I can't see myself getting there.
Barlow makes a lot of stuff work though with power forward center eligibility.
Yeah. Well, Watford's a power forward too. So I like Watford just a tick more than Barlow, but I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm not gonna argue about it. It's close. But and probably we're gonna see, I think we're projecting Barlow to start. But he's a little bit better as far as fantasy points per minute. I don't know how much I need to mess with that stuff, but and like Bona, just there's an opportunity cost, and he's 3-3, and even if he starts, there's no guarantee he closes. There's no guarantee he doesn't struggle. So, I think it's just not the slate for it, because we'll talk about it. We'll get there. There are some other centers, Vucevic, especially on DK, Reed, Sharp. There's just a lot of guys at center that are really cheap that I think I'll play whatever Philadelphia ends up as like the best option at center. I think that's where I'm at least. And Atlanta, I'm having a hard time playing anybody but Jalen Johnson. I guess we can play Nah. Can't really play Ricochet, McCollum, whatever. I don't make enough lineups to get there. Okongwu, again, the problem with Okongwu is he's a center, and I like the cheap ones or possibly the expensive ones. And we'll talk about something like Wemby, especially on DK, where he's got a pretty good price to be different. But he's just kind of a no man's land, and he's center and center only. So I probably won't get there either. Anything else of note as far as Atlanta, Philly, or shall we scoot along?
No, we can scoot along.
I'm running some new. We had an update on lineup HQ, so I'm just running some new lineups. Want to see if there's anything different. Oh, you know what? I wanted to talk about Grimes. Lippy in chat. Shout out to chat. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Yeah, Lippy is asking about Quentin Grimes. Grimy. How do you feel about Quentin Grimes? I think he's an interesting play, actually.
Yeah, point guard, shooting guard eligibility. I'm currently under the field on Grimes. I don't know. I just kind of want to see what other stuff opens up. I know 4,200 is a good price for Grimes, but I'm getting exposure to him. I'm just not really. I would prefer like getting to Barlow, getting to Bona, like those guys as the value guys for Philly.
Next game, we have the scheduled blowout here. We kind of talked about Brooklyn and Cleveland. 229.5 is the total. I think it's a front half. Yeah, front half for Cleveland, front half for Brooklyn. So this is another one that if it kind of gets ugly, they might, call off the dogs early. I'm sort of hoping for the blowout. Mobley is back tonight. Cleveland is a monster favorite, like 16, 17-point favorite here. We have Claxton out for Brooklyn with his ankle. As far as the Cavs, Max Strus, there was an update. It wasn't great. Who knows if he even plays this year at this point with his foot. He's still out. Otherwise, anybody of relevance for Cleveland's healthy. Tomlin's out, but not really of relevance at this point. I think I'm just not playing this game outside of Sharp. And I think it's an interesting argument to play. The best bet against Sharp is just blowout, maybe a little bit early foul trouble. I don't think you would play blowout here. There's enough guys. They have I don't think Sharp is a guy that, if they're down by 25 or so in the fourth quarter, they're probably not giving him run. Little bit concerned about Sharp getting, massive popularity and potential blowout. I think he's an interesting fade in tournaments. I'm curious your thoughts. If I played MPJ, which I'm almost definitely not, I would for sure run it back with somebody on Cleveland, because that means if he's getting full minutes, somebody on Cleveland probably is getting there amongst Harden, Mitchell, Allen. I like Allen the best, just the way he's been playing with Harden. He's been playing pretty well. Those guys, not surprising with their PNR stuff.
They clamped down on the pick and roll, though.
Who's that? Brooklyn,
yeah. Like, they're going to take it away. So, for me, like, it would be more of getting to a Mitchell or someone who's off ball. Mitchell would probably be my preferred, but Cleveland's tough, right? Like, highest team total on the slate, but the spread's 15 points. So it's like, I would imagine there's opportunity for like one player to get there, and good luck picking who it's going to be. I think for me, it would be Mitchell. On the net side, it's more Sharp, like having to deal with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. I'm actually over the field on Sharp. So with Claxton out, I think he's the safest play. I don't really want to get to like guys like Demon, Clowney, Porter Jr., but they're in my pool, but I'm underweight to the three of them. Those would be the only Nets guys that I'd really have interest in outside of Sharp, but Sharp I'm getting significant leverage on, and you think he's a good tournament fade. So
I think he's a pretty interesting tournament fade as well, and I'm thinking about it. Like single entry, he's going to be, I don't know, 70, 80, 85% owned on DK.
Yep.
And, people love, everybody knows, whenever Claxton's out, it's a big signal for Sharp. Last time we saw us before the break, he was awesome. Anybody who played him then is going to keep chasing it. Anybody who didn't play him, got the FOMO. But I think you could tell a story of how this can fall apart if, early foul trouble and then blowout combination. Also a game tomorrow night as well. And I would say, again, you said you have Porter in your pool. I would put a rule in that if I play Porter, I would run back somebody, at least one player on Cleveland. I think
it would be, yeah, I think that's a really good rule. Especially at his tag at 8,600.
Yeah, if he's paying that salary off, you got to assume it's a close game, and you got to figure somebody. Even though Mobley being back, and Mobley to me is kind of unplayable. I think he's one of the worst players, point per dollar, because you have to imagine we saw this earlier in the year where he came back. He had they kind of babied his minutes a little bit. They didn't start him. We're giving him 24 minutes. He's 8.5 at 24 minutes. To me, that's just unplayable. I think he's like 7.7 or 7.8. Still pretty unplayable on FanDuel. And then not only is he unplayable, but him being back, slight little hits on everybody else of relevance. So, yeah, it's just hard. They want 122 team total, Cleveland, and nobody really is somebody I feel pretty confident. I don't need anybody in Cleveland, I think. We'll see. But that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I agree. Currently, I'm only playing 45 teams too, so I'm not really getting to much Cleveland.
All right. Houston and Charlotte, 218.5 is a total. Not a very appealing total. Charlotte is a 4-point dog versus the Rockets. Who's in, who's out. Nothing really new here for Houston. Steven Adams out for the season, FEV out for the season. Otherwise, everybody is healthy for Houston. Charlotte, there's still the remnants of their suspension with Detroit, the fight, the scuffle. Musa Diabate still out. Bridges still out. Kobe White, they said they're going to reevaluate him after the All-Star break. He's still not good to go. LaMelo Ball did get into a car accident. I don't know if you saw that. He walked away.
I did not see it. What do you mean? Was it? Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine. I did see the video of it. It might have been his fault. But I mean, the angle that I saw, but we'll see. I think everybody's fine. It's just the most important thing. But yeah, he's expected to play. He walked away. He's fine. He's good to go. Yeah, Rockets, Hornets. This is a game that I think is going to be mostly ignored. I mean, Grant Williams is kind of a cheapie. Again, the absence of bigs here versus Houston, being without Diabate certainly hurts. Bridge is not exactly a big, but Williams can not just play the 5; he can play the 4. Kalkbrenner is a cheap center, not really in the mix amongst the other names we're going to be talking about. But I wouldn't be shocked if he plays pretty well, point per dollar here. I think he's an interesting tournament flyer. Probably better on FanDuel where he's 4.3, which is a really interesting price over there. But again, you only get the roster 1, so you better be right on FanDuel. How are you seeing the Hornets and the Rockets?
Yeah, so for me, Grant Williams, if he starts, I'll probably take an overweight stance on him at 4K. Not getting crazy over, but definitely have some leverage. I think Knipple is very interesting at 71. The problem with these Hornets guys, they've all been playing so well offensively. Knipple's 7,100, Brandon Miller's 8K, LaMelo Ball's 8.4. I think these guys are all in play in large field stuff. Knipple's been so good. I'm getting to LaMelo. Currently right around the field. I think Miller and Knipple, you can take an overweight approach. I'm currently not doing that, but wouldn't mind if I seen someone interested in getting up to paying 8K for Brandon Miller. It's just tough to really playing only one of these guys, right? And then Grant Williams, if you're building a lineup, that's how I kind of see it. And then Houston's such a good defensive team. I think it limits the upside for a lot of these guys. So LaMelo is the one that I'm taking a stand on in my teams. I'm definitely going to have some LaMelo. Kevin Durant and Sengun on the other side for the Rockets, I think, are interesting. There's not really many Rockets. I don't want to play 8,200 for Amen Thompson. It's really Durant and Sengun. Yeah, you could take larger field stuff. Tari Eason at 6,300, Jabari Smith at 66. They always have a ceiling, but the main Rockets I'm focused on is Sengun and Kevin Durant. Probably won't play those two guys together. And then on the Charlotte side, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Knipple, and Grant Williams is the guy I'm getting the most exposure to. Power forward eligibility starting at 4K. So,
how do you feel about him? As you think he's good chalk? I don't know if he's good chalk. I don't feel great about it.
You just keep, yeah. I only have a slight leverage, but he's the one I'm getting to the most. Like, obviously, majority of your value plays are going to come from Indy and Washington and Philly. So, yeah, he's in the mix, but I don't have like great leverage on him. He played really well as a starter the other night. I think it was the Millie night he was starting. So,
yeah. 0.86 fantasy points a minute on the season for Williams. How did your Millie teams do? I assume you didn't win the Millie. I would know if you did, but
I was actually really live in third for a good portion of the night. Yeah, I was up there. I only had one team. I ended up falling out. Okay. I didn't fall out. I ended up cashing, but I was pretty high up there for a good majority of the night. Yeah, I popped my too soon, right, Dean? I was up there too early. You know, I lasted longer than I thought I would.
PMR. You lacked the PMR there.
My PMR was there. My team wasn't bad. Like I was there. It just, I think the second half of the late games I fell out. So yeah.
I don't really like this game. I think Williams is fine. I don't know if I love him if like he's gonna be 35% owned. Where do we currently? We currently have about 25%. I think he's more owned on more rostered on FanDuel. 35 on FanDuel. He's 4K over there, 4K flat. He's 4K on DK, but just the prices are a little bit. You can find more value, I think, today on DK. So 4K on FanDuel probably goes a little bit further than 4K on DK today. Certainly for cash, you can play some Grant Williams. We're expecting 30 minutes. Probably not breaking the slate. Probably not hurting you. I don't think so. I'm fine with it. I'm just trying to think about how he is as far as if like 50% of the field has him in single entry stuff. Is that somebody I feel like I have to have? I think he should be fine-ish.
Kirkie's in on Cockbrenner.
Yeah, well, I think I feel like there's alternative reasons for that. I think he just likes saying his name, if I'm not mistaken. But there is a chance. Like, we're only giving him 24 minutes, and I think there's a chance he gets a few more than that. I can see him getting a few more. Especially with Şengün out there. We're giving Cockbrenner 24, and then Hall. We're giving 15 minutes to Hall. It's possible he doesn't get that many. I can see him playing close to 30. I actually don't mind him for tournaments. I think it's an interesting play. And I mentioned on FanDuel, he's like 4-3. I wish it was a different slate for him on DK, but I do think he's interesting for large field stuff, if nothing else.
Because I don't know why I'm not getting more Knipple and Brandon Miller.
It's not a great matchup. Miller's now 8K on DK, which is just I feel like the most he's been all season. Knipple's about as expensive as he's been all season long as well. I wish they would bump up Ball's minutes, and we're not projecting that. We're giving him 31. It is an island game too. They don't play. No, they do play tomorrow, but he is well rested. They play Cleveland tomorrow.
We have 36 minutes for Miller. That's interesting.
He plays a lot. Yeah, he plays a lot. I don't mind him. And I think they're both interesting tournament plays. I'm probably
not going to. LaMelo see more minutes because these games, they have to be kind of jockeying for playoff position, right? Charlotte at this point, so maybe he gets a little bit more run. Like, I know he's been hovering around 29. We have him at 31 though, so I think that's fine.
Charlotte is 26 and 29. They're currently on the outside looking in of the play-in nonsense.
They're going to get in though, correct? Like, they've been playing.
I think they want to be in the play-in stuff. I think they're trying. I think, they've won 9 of their last 10 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
they're one of the hottest teams going into the break. So, and yeah, they traded for White. I assume they're going to play him at some point. I guess he's legitimately injured, but I think they also want they need Ball healthy, right? So that's the push and pull of it, because how many different leg injuries did he kept getting when they played him 35, 36, 37, and maybe that's the difference. Going to drop a third clue for the people here for Fleet Thursday. The third clue number 3, you're not going to believe this, Bobby. Clue number 3 is actually 3. So it's retired, trucker, and 3. That is our first 3 clues. It's not Karl Malone as guest in the chat, or Tractor Trailer was a great guess. It's not Tractor Trailer, if you remember him, Robert Trailer, if you're old, or Carlos Boozer. A lot of guesses coming on through the Discord channel, but yeah, retired, trucker, and 3. That is our first 3 clues. More guesses coming on through. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Shall we scoot along from Houston and Charlotte? Yes?
Yeah, we can move along.
So this is the last of the 7 o'clock games, Bobby. This is probably the most important one, I think. 2 teams that really want to lose. They're playing a second game tomorrow night. This is 2 games back-to-back in Washington. Pacers at the Wiz, 232.5. That is our total. Washington is a 2-point home dog. If you want to know how bad they are. The Pacers, Furphy, he tore his ACL, so he's done for the year. Quentin Jackson is officially questionable. TJ McConnell. Timothy John is questionable with his hamstring. Naismith is questionable as well. We'll see what they do here. Potter is also questionable. He's also got an ankle. Zubac, they gave him an ankle, and they're just not going to let him play this year, apparently, it seems. And Pascal has those he's out for personal reasons. Washington, no Sarr, no Trae Young, of course. But no point in mentioning Anthony Davis and the rest of their injury report. Okay, so Wizards, Pacers, there's a lot of Pacers that are projecting pretty well. Walker projects as one of the better players in the slate. Huff projects really well, assuming he starts, and things can definitely open up. We'll know this. If we don't know this, Crunch Time will know it as far as who's in and who's out for the Pacers. But, they still have plenty of bodies right now. They have 12, I think, if I'm counting this correctly. But they have, 3 guys that are questionable in TJ McConnell. Jackson, they said G League. They're not sure if he's with the team or not. I guess we'll know at some point. And McConnell and Naismith are the real important ones. Potter as well, too, because that would clear out the bigs a little bit. We could see Kobe Brown dusted off for some more run. A lot of Pacers are projecting well, and it's highly volatile. I don't know what to do with some of these guys. I'm concerned. Talk to me about the Pacers and the Wizards.
Yes, right now we have Nembhard, correct, as the chalkiest piece here at 40% ownership.
Walker might be even more. Both those guys are
projected. I can refresh. I need to refresh.
Walker is our most popular player in Indiana, but I'm refreshing as well. Yeah.
Nembhard's gone down a little bit. Yeah, Walker is the most. Yeah, small forward, power forward eligibility for Walker. Definitely someone who at 5,900 I'm fine with being overweight to the field, especially versus Washington. I think his minutes are pretty much secure in this scenario.
Walker?
Yeah. Naismith would be the one. Like, I understand. Like, if McConnell plays and Naismith was still at that high ownership, I'd probably come in underweight to Naismith. I think I'm still going to probably come in underweight to Naismith and just anticipate McConnell playing and just be overweight on McConnell at 4,200.
Here's the update, by the way. Okay. There's McConnell out. Potter in. Naismith in. Wait. TJ saying Naismith in. Oh, Naismith in. Yeah, McConnell out. Yeah. And by the way, spoiler alert, I think that's going to flip tomorrow, I think, my guess. But Potter in, no TJ McConnell tonight. Okay, so it's like 20 minutes to disperse some second unit stuff. But Naismith in. Okay, good to know. Continue.
I confused Nembhard with Naismith when I was explaining that. McConnell would affect Nembhard more. I guess Nembhard is going to go up in terms of ownership now. I think his minutes are probably just the same, right? Like, they're not going to really change. Maybe it's a boost in usage because you're removing TJ McConnell, but we have him for 34 minutes. Like, do you think he's going to play more than that at this point?
Well, wait a second. No, I don't think so. You're talking about Nembhard. I don't think they're going to play more than 34 minutes in Nembhard. Again, they don't want to win. So, when he's out there, he's going to do his thing. And I can certainly see him playing 34 minutes Nembhard, but And it's a great matchup too. I kind of buried the lead. Like the matchup obviously is spectacular here against Washington. They bleed fantasy points. If not for the Jazz, I think they'd be the best opponent to face. Chat's talking about Shepherd. Yeah, Shepherd might get a few more minutes. We're giving him 18. That's going to change, I imagine, to like 25 or so. We'll see what our projection team says. Naismith 32. I wouldn't think he would get much more than that. And Potter being in, it's kind of a lottery there with Huff 27, Potter 23. And Walker, I think, is the good thing about Walker. You mentioned him being pretty safe. He's not good. Like he could score, but like he's not efficient. He'll shoot. I think he's a great player to have on a tanking team. Is the point? I think he's bad enough that they're fine playing him no matter the situation. Even if they're winning, he'll stay out there. I feel pretty confident in Walker's minutes. Like I don't know if they'll rug pull Nembhard or Naismith or those guys if they're winning accidentally. I shouldn't say accidentally because it's just their favorite. They're supposed to beat Washington, because what they're rolling out is even worse. But I feel pretty good about Walker's minutes all season long. Even when the end it wasn't taking, it was tricky to figure out like the Huff situation. But like in theory, it's a really, really good matchup for Huff here against Washington. Vukcevic is projecting really well on the other side. We'll talk about that in a second too. On DK, Vukcevic is 4-3. Yeah, he projects really, really good. 56% ownership on Vukcevic, man. Woof. And that's at 24 minutes. And he doesn't even need full minutes. We're projecting him to start. No SAR. Yeah. Oh, man.
I have a lot of Vukcevic. I will say, like, there's not really much. It's more like the pacer side for me, and like the run back being Vukcevic. Not like you have to run it back, obviously, but I think Vukcevic, Champagny, Koulibaly, those would be the three that kind of stand out. Maybe Will Riley get some minutes, 4,400, small forward, power forward eligible. But I feel like if I was playing more teams, I'd be getting to more Koulibaly and Champagny, maybe some Riley, who's seen extended minutes lately. It's mainly Vukcevic for me at 4,300. I feel like you feel the same. 56% ownership is a lot of ownership.
Okay, so here's the thing with Washington, right? We're projecting 12 players to play for Washington, 12, right? And the one player that's projected to play the most minutes, Koulibaly, 26 minutes. So they're just going to play a bunch of guys, 20-ish minutes. It's basically, that's what we're looking at. And there's a couple of hedge minutes. I don't know if Williams is going to play or not. The projection team doesn't know either. But there's nobody in Washington, I don't think, that's going to play 30-plus minutes or so. Remember earlier in the season, we saw Carrington playing 35, 36, 37 when they were super thin. They're not thin. They're not thin right now.
No, they're 12 deep. So, yeah.
I don't like anybody in Washington outside of Vukcevic, and I just don't trust their rotations. I think Riley can pay off his salary at 4-4. I don't know how much they push Trey Johnson. We're giving him 23 minutes. I kind of feel like that's basically it. George, 24 minutes. Like I don't think they don't push him. It just feels like that price has to adjust. If I play anybody in Washington, Vukcevic looks really good. And then Riley, I think, is kind of sort of somewhat interesting, but I don't think I'm getting anywhere else.
Yeah, it's Vukcevic and Riley. I think you can make a case for Koulibaly and Champagny if you're playing larger field stuff. I'm playing a lot of small field stuff tonight, so mainly Vukcevic. Getting a lot of Vukcevic.
And I should note on Vukcevic is that he's not nearly as good on FanDuel because his price is, I think he's in the 5s over there. He's 5-4 over there. And I wouldn't say you can't play him, but he's center only. Like I would play Cockbrenner before I played Vukcevic on FanDuel when you consider the salary. Just depending on where you're shopping. The best center point per dollar is Sharp. He's 5-4 over there. Like he's probably your cash game center almost definitely. You could play Paul Reed as well. It's really, really hard for me to get to Vukcevic on FanDuel when you got Sharp and Reed basically the same price. You think both those guys, one of them you got to figure beats Vukcevic, but I suppose, and also Huff's another guy, all basically the same price. So Vukcevic to me is basically DK only. Any good guesses here in the live stream chat? I don't think so. Let's give out a week free of RG Premium. Let's drop the fourth clue for the people here, Bobby. Fourth clue is jacket. Retired, trucker, 3, and jackets. It's not Mookie Wilson or Jason Williams or Waltrip or Dale Sr. or Earnhardt or Chris Paul or Babe Ruth or J.R. Ryder. A lot of guesses coming on through the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Week free. Get a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. Tell me what athlete I am talking about. Bobby, can you rank your Pacers for me? I wanted to see if we can get an update in projections. That's going to be coming in shortly. I don't think they kicked out McConnell just yet. But, again, that's maybe like 17 minutes. How many minutes were we giving him? Not a ton.
Yeah, it's going to change now because I haven't adjusted for McConnell being out. But currently it's Huff, Walker, Neesmith, and Potter. Then Nembhard. But I think Nembhard you have to consider more now. So maybe I'd put him in front of Neesmith. Maybe Huff comes down.
They already ruled out Pascal for tomorrow night, by the way. They said Pascal's out at least 2 games. So hopefully he's all right. Let's see. Getting Dallas stuff for tomorrow. We don't care about that. Let's move on. Anything else as far as Indiana, Washington? It's one of the more important games on the slate.
No, that's it.
Pistons, New York, 219.5 is the total. Who was that in the chat? Was that Steve telling me that Jeremy Sohan's going to break the slate? I don't think so. I don't think he is. But newly acquired New York Knicks Jeremy Sohan. We saw Jose Alvarado have a big game going in the All-Star break. What do you have, like 7 or 8 threes? Do not expect that, but he's fitting in quite nicely with New York. Detroit, we mentioned earlier, still no Jalen Duren. He's got that suspension. Beef stew, no Isaiah Stewart. Otherwise, they're good to go. Anybody else of note is good. OG Anunoby, he's got a toe, but he's fine. He's probable. Expected to play with that. I say toenail, but I'm not sure if it's growing back for him just yet. McBride is still out with a pelvic issue. 219.5 is the total. New York is a 4-point favorite versus Detroit, 2 of the better teams here in the East. We kind of talked about the cheap centers. Cheap centers, one of the themes on the slate. Paul Reed, 5-7 on DK. Not a great environment, right, to the slower teams as well. We see the total, but, the absence of 2 of the beefier guys, no Stewarts, no Duren, should make life easier for Cat on New York. And the tricky part with Cat is, centers. Centers are cheap. It's one of the places to save salary, but I also think he's an interesting spend up as well. You tell me, New York, Detroit, what are you doing with the Pistons and the Knicks?
Yeah, Cat's been playing really well, too. So to differentiate your construction, if you wanted to pay up to Cat, I think that he's probably the best pay-up spot at the center position on the slate. So don't mind Cat builds. Paul Reed's going to stand out from Detroit. 5-7 price tag. He's going to have to deal with Cat. Don't mind Reed. Cade Cunningham, definitely getting to Cade in the spot at 10-3. Like Cade a good bit. I think it's a good match. These Knicks games usually, for whatever reason, end up being good game environments. So I like Cade. Josh Hart. What do we have for Josh Hart's minutes? Do we have it?
Let's see. We're giving him 32.
Yeah. I could see him playing like 34 minutes. So I don't mind Josh Hart at 6,800. He'd probably come behind Towns for me in terms of Knicks, and then Brunson at 8,900. He's making my pool, but not getting a ton of Brunson. Everyone else, like, not much interest in. It's more Reed, Cunningham, Towns, and Hart that are taking up the majority of my exposure.
We did get an update as far as the Pacers. I'll let you know about that in a second. Ownership-wise, Paul Reed coming in at 27%. No surprise, most popular player in this game on DK. Cat at 16%. Tobias Harris, not necessarily sexy, but perfectly fine-ish, right? At 12%, kind of a glue guy. Probably doesn't hurt you, probably doesn't make you. Those are the only guys in double digits. I think Cunningham's interesting for tournaments at 10-3. Don't mind, not really hard to get over the field. You mentioned Cunningham. You can get double digits and be over the field pretty easily. Interesting play in single entry. I probably won't get there, but don't mind it. Wouldn't discourage it. Anything
I'm definitely gonna have some.
You're gonna have some, yeah. I think it's a good. I think he's a good play.
I have pretty good leverage on Cunningham. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll play Cunningham instead of Maxey or something like that. That's just
Yeah.
a very easy way to get different. And it's absolutely possible that he outscores Maxey. Like wouldn't be shocking in any way. Similar price. And I think Cunningham could certainly outscore him. He's more expensive on FanDuel, so he's 800 more than Maxey on FanDuel. The DK price is pretty similar.
Would you be totally against building up for Towns in tournaments? I think building up for Towns is definitely interesting based on how he's been playing. He's at 8K too, so
I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough or him at all, which is like, the expert survey, it's like, well, who's the player you're most afraid of not having? I think I put Cat. I'm afraid of not having Cat. I'm not discouraging it. And life is easier when there's no beef stew and there's no Duran on the Detroit side. And, Paul Reed, his defensive prowess is not nearly close to those guys. So it's going to be easier for Cat to work inside, do stuff inside. And they don't have any inside depth, beyond that either. So I think he's a great play. I just don't know if he gets there as far as builds for me. But I love it. I love it, in tournaments. 20% seems like a reasonable number. And it might even be lower than that, possibly, if people just
I think it'll come in lower than that.
I could see him be just double cheap center is the easy way to do it, right, on DK.
There's too many cheap centers.
Yeah. He's not – just want to double check. He's not power forward eligible, right? Okay, I feel like he had that earlier in the season. He does not have power forward eligibility on DK. He does have it on FanDuel. But he's 8-8 over there, so you got to pay a little bit more. But yeah, I'm on board. I like Cat as a tournament play for sure.
Yeah, someone mentioned Cade getting locked up the last time the Knicks played. It was OG on Cade in that game, and OG's out tonight, right?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you if that was the case. I mean, I try not to get too caught up in stuff like that. It matters to some degree, right? But OG's in.
OG's in, yeah.
Yeah, OG's playing tonight. But, just like Maxey, like he's going to see some Daniels, but like I'm not going to run away just because Dyson Daniels on the court. There's only so many times you're actually matched up. There's a lot of transition stuff, that kind of thing. And usage and pace, all kind of stuff factors. And I try not to overweight that too much. You got anything else as far as New York and Detroit?
That's it. Can move on.
Let's give the people a fifth clue. Let's see if we can get today's Slate Thursday. Fifth clue. I have bonus clues if necessary. Retired, trucker, 3, jacket. Clue number 5, Bobby. It is Beatles. Beatles is clue number 5. And if you don't win, if you don't win RG Premium, you can check out PickLabs. PickLabs, the newest RotoGrinders feature, lets you scan the best player prop and pick'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you on PickLabs, from edges to win rates to value. You're going to be looking at a clean board. It shows you plays that actually stand out across not just sports books, but also sites like Underdog, Prize Picks. When you see something you like, PickLabs, it's going to go ahead and build that slip for you and send it to the book of your choosing. Check it out, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. Again, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. And, it's dummy proof. It's a really, really clean board. I know we show it off sometimes. I'm not looking at it right now, but trust me, give it a look-see at rotogrinders.com/PickLabs if you're in, player prop streets, Underdog, Prize Picks, things of that sort. Should also mention NASCAR. NASCAR is back. I saw like half the cars blew up on the last lap of NASCAR. I don't know who won, but shout out to the person who won. I think that Jordan's guy. I don't know who Jordan's team, but Jordan was happy.
He was an RG sub that took down the 500K.
There you go. Shout out to
Stevie's projections. Everyone's saying RG's dead, and RG goes and wins the next tournament.
I don't know who's saying that, but I would just. Where's this happening?
On you're on Blue Sky. I forgot.
I'm all over the place. I still have the Twitter. I still log into Twitter. NASCAR projections, speaking of, they're live for the 2026 season, including projections from not just Stevie, but RotoDoc as well. You'll get access to articles and videos on RotoGrinders breaking down each race. Lineup HQ Optimizer, it's going to come preloaded with player and ownership projections for trucks, NOAPS, and Cup Series. Additionally, you'll receive access to Stevie's betting picks as well as exclusive access to the NASCAR channel in the RotoGrinders Discord. Most of our Discord channels are free. This is it's not one of our free ones, Bobby. This actually is one of them you have to pay for. Get yourself in on NASCAR. And what was a $500,000, right? I think it was
I played NASCAR this week, and I just have never played it before, and it was one of the worst. I was just watching my screen, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, no sports are on. What are you doing?" And it's like, "I'm watching NASCAR." I almost got thrown out of the house. Yeah,
that's grounds for getting kicked out of the house. Yeah,
I had a sweat NASCAR, and then I fell. I don't understand finishing however they do it. I just don't. Yeah.
I think it's depending on where you start and where you finish.
I was in 10th, and I finished in 263 after whenever everyone went over the finish line there. I don't know how they do.
Was it a solo shipper too?
Solo, yeah. Stevie's projections.
Wow, that's impressive. 500K. It's just I know NASCAR a lot of times. It's like a bunch of people chop it up, but. It must have been a highly well. I saw the highlight. A bunch of the cars blew up there at the end. I think there was a push as well from a teammate, which I think that's what kind of made the difference there at the end. We do not have a winner for today's. I don't think so. I don't think we have a winner.
Well, these clues, once again, you're being pretty difficult and hard on the guy.
I want to make people earn it. We can't just spoon feed it. We can't just give it away to the people. I want people to earn it. So yeah. I'll have to come up with a bonus clue if we don't have a winner. I'm surprised.
They win. It's worth winning, I would say.
Well,
right?
To be fair, this gives you all the bells, all the whistles, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, PGA, MMA, everything with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is a la carte. You got to pay for NASCAR. My apologies. I can't give you NASCAR. You got to hit Stevie up for that one.
Get in the Discord and finagle it somehow.
Well, I wouldn't make any false promises. I don't know. I don't know how the finagling works. Maybe you can get NASCAR a la carte for a week and nothing else. I don't know. Take it up with Stevie. Take it up with producer Steve. But, yeah, we'll drop a 6th clue if necessary. Let's move on, though. There's still 2 more games to go. By the way, we did get a minutes projection update on the Pacers. 34 Nembhard, 32 Naismith, doesn't change. Walker, 32, Huff, 27. So Kobe Brown's getting 28, 26. That's one of the biggest benefactors. And Cam Jones getting 24. It's just so murky, man. I think we saw Kobe Brown start. We saw him start before the All-Star break and get two quick fouls, which kind of derailed this game. But I remember that because I played Kobe Brown. I think of my main lineup, he was like 3K or something like that. Then he's still interesting, and he's also bad, which is good. You want the players that are bad because his minutes might get a little bit of a boost if things get squirrely. Potter, 20.
Cam Jones. What do we have for Cam Jones?
24. Yeah. So Brown and Cam Jones are the benefactors. It looks like Brown might have been close to 26, and I just kind of missed it. But I think Cam Jones is the one that's getting the.
Kobe Brown completely torpedoed a lot of good lineups for me.
Yeah.
Last week. Yeah.
Did not. Again, he had early foul trouble, and his game was just kind of derailed. We got 2 more games to go. We have crunch time coming in about 15 minutes or so. It's the Raptors and the Bulls, 233.5. That's the total. TJ's Raptors, they're 7-point favorites in Chicago. Pretty big number, right? 233.5. That's the total. Sandro Mamakhelishvili is officially questionable with his rib. CMB, Colin Murray Boyles, he's probable with his thumb. Pirtle is back. I saw somebody in chat ask if they can play Pirtle. I just don't know if he can play enough minutes. They had him on a pretty hard cap last time. I want to say it was at 20. I think they don't play 20 minutes. And in theory, if he could play 28, sure, I think he's interesting. However, we keep mentioning that this is a cheap center slate. I just don't trust that Pirtle's going to play much more. What we're giving 21, unless word comes out like he gets a boost as far as his minutes projection. If he was fine, if his back was good to go, he'd probably play 28 or so. But I don't think we can assume that. I guess it wouldn't hurt him necessarily if Mamakhelishvili is ruled out. But if he has a hard cap, he's got a hard cap, and that's that. And he would play 20 or so, and CMB would play 25 plus, and maybe Barnes plays a few minutes at the 5 as well. Chicago, still no Zach Collins. Giddey is available with his hamstring, speaking of players that are going to be limited. I think he's I'll tell you what we have. 26 minutes. Yeah, I don't know how you can play him at 26 minutes if that's the projection. And they've also done that a lot with players coming back from injury. The Bulls have been pretty strict as far as kind of bringing guys along slowly. Trey Jones is probable as well. McClung is out in the G League. Jalen Smith available and good to go with his calf. I don't know what we like in this game, Bobby. RJ Barrett's fine. Besides that, like Scotty Barnes, you can pay up for. Interesting pay up to be different.
I'm not paying 9,100 for Scotty Barnes on the slate. I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Quickly's okay, but I'm not saying a heck of a lot. And the Bulls, it's similar to Cleveland in some sense, with Mobley being back, and you can't play Mobley, but he also hurts everybody else to some degree. It's not as agreed, it's a little bit more unplayable, I think, for Chicago. I can't get excited about any of these Bulls. I'm not going to play a Bull, spoiler, unless something weird happens. That's not in the plans for me, I'll tell you that.
I'm with you. I'm not in on the Bulls. Barrett's fine. I think Ingram at 8,200 is somewhat interesting. Shooting guard eligibility. I think and so what do we have for Ingram's minutes? Let me pull up.
Let's see. What do we have for Ingram?
We have him for 34.
Yeah. He's fine.
I could see him playing like 35 plus Ingram. So I don't have any issues if you were to play Ingram, but it'd be Ingram Barrett for me. Quickly would be more of a large field tournament flyer. And yeah, that's pretty much Toronto and Chicago. The plays aren't great, right?
Defense versus archetype does like Scotty Barnes, third best matchup in all basketball for versatile forwards. It does like RJ Barrett as well, scoring wings, fifth best matchup for scoring wings. Same with Ingram. We're going to call him a scoring wing. I just don't know how you play Pirtle. Again, somebody in chat was asking about it. You got to really tell yourself a story as far as the minutes, but I don't know why they would push his minutes tonight. Maybe they might feel a need to in some ways if Mamukashvili is out, but even still, I'm not sure if that makes a heck of a lot of sense. We've seen CMB played, close to 30 minutes as well. They don't necessarily need, Pirtle to step up and play 30. So we're giving him 21. I think that's about right, unless otherwise noted. Anything else here, or shall we move along?
Phoenix, San Antonio, the hammer.
I do have to drop a sixth clue. Yeah, I see people in Discord talking about it. It's not J.R. Smith, who I believe is over here, or if not here, he's here. I think he's here, over my shoulder. It's not Ronda Rousey or Phil Mickelson or Julius Peppers or The Rock. I don't want to just hand it to you. I thought for sure somebody would have it by now. Retired Trucker 3 Jacket Beatles. Okay, get ready to type. Hot is clue number 6. Hot. Okay, last game. It is a hammer game, right? I guess it's a hammer game. It's the last game of the slate. It's the Suns and the Spurs. 230.5 is the total. The Spurs are 7.5 point favorites here. I think this is a midday downgrade, if I'm not mistaken here, for Grayson Allen. I think that was midday. He's got an ankle. He's questionable. Dylan Brooks suspended. Too many texts, I believe, is what's going on there. So if they lose both Brooks and Allen, things could get interesting here for the Suns. I don't know if I'm gonna have any spots to wait out if and when we get that news. I don't know how many minutes they can actually push somebody like Jalen Green either. Maybe Gillespie would get some more run. Spurs, they did sign Mason Plumlee. He's not available. He's conditioning right now. They are fully healthy. Nobody of relevance in San Antonio is on the injury report. Lindy Waters the third. He's relevant to one lady. I don't know if you've ever seen that video. There's one lady out there he's really relevant to.
Lindy Waters, what was the video?
I think it was, the question was like, who's your hall pass?
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, and she said Lindy Waters.
About
the boyfriend was not happy. Yeah.
Dare I ask, Bobby? Is this a bad question? Does Bobby have is there a hall pass in the Gomes household?
If Sydney Sweeney ever crossed my path.
Yeah, but this is not something that's written down in any sense.
I can ask her.
Yeah.
We're in here.
There you go. Okay. That's your hall. Yeah, there you go. That's the hall pass. So Spurs, Suns. Wemby's not going to be played, and you certainly can play him. I shouldn't say he's not going to get played.
If he's going to be 2% owned, which I do not think he's going to be 2% owned, but if he comes in 8 to 10%, like you should be overweight that.
Let me go ahead and give it a refresh and see what was the last ownership update. I'd imagine it's going to change with a little bit with the Pacers stuff. Chat saying nobody playing Fox. I don't think anybody's playing Fox.
I have some Fox too. Yeah, those are the two players I'm getting to this game, Fox and Wemby.
We currently have Booker at 6%, and he again, if we lose Allen, he's going to take a lot of shots for sure. We're giving 30 minutes to Gillespie. I guess you can give him a couple more if we lose Allen, and how much more he can play than that. We're giving. I agree. Wemby's going to be more than 2% owned. We have 2.5, whatever, but he's probably going to be around 5 or so. Like it's not going to be much higher again because the nature of the slate. He might be 2% on FanDuel because FanDuel he's distinctly more, and you can only roster one center, so he's just not going to be played there. I feel pretty confident about that, and that's where he's best for the scoring system. All right. This game in general, man. And are you doing anything? Are you waiting out the Grayson Allen news? How much do you care about that? Like, how much?
I didn't plan on getting to Booker, but I guess you could. For me, like it'd be more the Spurs side. Get to Wemby or Fox. I'm not leaving anything open for the Grayson Allen news.
We have an if-then set up, and the only positive value play if Grayson Allen is out on DK is Booker, and just barely. 41 DK, 39 FanDuel. Gillespie is the play on FanDuel. He gets a nice.
Someone said in chat that you're their hall pass, Steen.
Well, no hall pass necessary. Gillespie's 5.6 on FanDuel, right? And so he's a little bit better over there. I don't think I'm waiting it out. I don't think it's the risk versus reward. My spots are already claimed. I don't really have a plan for it, to be honest, and I don't make enough lineups, so I just kind of hope that
TJ is saying that you're his hall pass also.
TJ, he's got my number. TJ, just call me, man. Do we know what a hall pass? Does TJ know what a hall pass is? Maybe it's a different thing in Canada?
Weren't you guys going to like some event together or something? I don't want to draw any conclusions, but this is like last year. I don't know.
I don't think. No, I've never met TJ before.
Yeah.
He's also just. I think he's just talking about the movie Hall Pass, which I'm assuming you've seen the movie. I would imagine.
I've seen the movie, yeah, and everyone The premise of the movie is actually really interesting because I would imagine that, that's pretty much everyone's situation in that scenario.
Date movie or bad date movie because it can lead to some roads that might lead to an argument.
Yeah, it's probably a bad date movie, but yeah. I remember they're just sitting in the bar because they all have the hall pass and they have nothing to do because they haven't talked to a woman in years. Yeah. Well,
yeah, they like the idea of it more. They went to Fridays, if I'm not mistaken. I think they went to Fridays. They had a big meal, they drank, and then they were just exhausted. That's it. I'm done for the night. They tapped out because they were not as young as they used to be. Shout out to Jason Sudeikis and Owen Wilson, I believe. Did anybody get today's fleet? We did get a winner. Okay. I thought my 6 clue would help get us there. Shout out to
my clue helped them get there.
You gave a 7th clue? What was your clue?
I said you're all guessing the right team, but the wrong player.
Okay. I see Shaq, Lonzo Mourning. Okay. So eventually we got to D Wade. We got to Chris Bosh. I see multiple people guessed it. Who was the first person to get it? Let's see. Am I scrolling in the wrong direction? Was it Ballers? Or is there somebody else? Wait, no, Ballers got it first, it looks like. No, wait, that's Chris Sale. I can't read. Chris Sale and Chris Bosh are 2 different people. It's Mr. Rios, 0026. Shout out to Mr. Rios. 0026, week free of RG Premium. Steve's going to juice you up here. We have Crunch Time coming in here shortly. Bobby, final thoughts as far as Phoenix, San Antonio? My hope is it doesn't go to overtime or double overtime, and I'm just not terribly excited about this game.
Yeah, I'm not terribly excited. I do think that you should be getting overweight or trying to get overweight on a sub 10% Wemby. I think that makes a lot of sense in tournaments.
All right, taking a peek at the chat. Durant outscores Maxey tonight, according to Razzles. He might. I don't really like Durant, generally speaking. I think he's just kind of a little bit overpriced. I don't know what's a big ceiling game out of Durant. Like, he's really good. I just think he's always like a little bit overpriced for me. Derek is asking if Quentin Jackson is in or out for Indiana, and that's a good question. Is he not being projected? So earlier in the day, he's out now. Okay, so that is actually
Jackson's out.
Okay, I didn't see that update as well. For some reason, that kind of snuck past me. That's pretty important. Let's tell the people how we got to Chris Bosh. By the way, Chris Bosh is retired. So clue number 2 was Trucker. Do you remember Chris? You remember Chris Bosh, right?
I remember Chris Bosh, Dean. Yeah, the alien. The original.
No, that's Wemby.
No, he was the original one.
No, his nickname, actually, it's funny you say that because his nickname is what ties in the clue number 2. His nickname was actually CB4. And what do
maybe I just thought, doesn't he? I don't know.
He was CB4. The alien. I don't think he was an alien. I don't think that was a. I don't recall.
I'm watching too much Y-Files at this point.
I don't know. I don't want to know what that is, but
you should. It's a great channel on YouTube. Y-Files. Go look it up.
Is it a Chris Bosh episode?
It's a phenomenal channel.
So truckers use CBs. You know, I actually did Google. I wanted to confirm. Apparently, truck drivers still use CBs. Yeah, that was the clue number 3. Clue number 3 is that he was a part of the Big Three. Remember the Big Three? Remember Dwayne Wade and LeBron James?
I remember it. Yeah, I don't think they were better than the Pierce team. They got lucky Ray Allen went over there, and that's why they ended up beating them.
LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. Okay.
Pierce, Garnett, Rondo. If Allen had stayed, they're beating them.
What? Rondo's better than LeBron?
But
that was LeBron.
Pierce can give LeBron 50 at that point. He did the year before, right? You don't remember, huh, Dean?
I just remember the game where he pooped his pants. That's the one that kind of sticks out to me.
It's such a shame. Pierce's legacy is just.
He did it to himself.
He did do it to himself, yeah.
If he just didn't say anything, like whatever. I don't.
He did do it to himself.
Tough spot. And they were wearing white. Were they wearing white that game? I don't recall what they were.
Like,
wearing.
How do you not have black trousers or like under what are the compression shorts like? Yeah.
The fourth clue is jacket, which is a reference to his college. Chris Bosh went to Georgia Tech. Yellow Jackets. Clue number 5, the other nickname for Miami, the Big Three, was also called the Heatles. So I thought that was the Beatles. That was a play off the Beatles. So I thought that would get people home, but it didn't. And then we gave out Sun or Heat, and that's I think Hot is what we got. What got us there? That's how we took down today's Fleet Thursday. Jalen Smith officially in for Chicago, no surprise. Trey Jones officially in for Chicago, no surprise. Ditto for Josh Giddey. Yusuf Nurkic rolled out for injury management tomorrow night. He just had a week off.
He's old, Dean. He's old. They're not tanking.
Up, Utah. At least make something up. Good Lord, this is insulting. Injury management. Just give him a back. That's it. I can believe he has a back, but no. Hey, give me the slate breaker. Who's the plums play before we segue to crunch time?
I'm gonna say VJ Edgecombe. That's gonna be my guy. I'm not gonna take one of the studs. I'm just gonna go VJ Edgecombe.
All right, let's do it. Let's seamlessly transition. Crunch time is here right now. TJ, what's going on? Kirkwood, how's it going? TJ, were you messing around? Did you really want me to be your hall pass? I think you were just joking. You're trying to.
I mean, I'm not messing around. That's the agreed upon terms for my wife and I. She said you get to pick one. I said Dean Shavelson.
What? Who was your number 2 out of curiosity?
Beyonce.
I don't think you're very good at that. I mean, whatever it's fine. Whatever you're into, but have a good time. But okay, fair enough. Shout out to just who was hers? Do you recall who hers was?
Also Beyonce.
Wemby.
Yeah, Chris Bosh was CB4, but
Lily, what's his name? Waters.
when he
Wendy
was
Waters.
drafted, he was just called a dinosaur because he literally looked like a raptor. He literally just looked like a literal raptor when he was drafted because he had the super long neck. He had a gigantic Adam's apple, and so he was called a dinosaur as well.
And isn't that when Toronto was wearing those like those dinosaur uniforms too, if I'm not mistaken?
No, that was
Vince Carter
well before Chris Bosh. Yeah, that was the Vince Carter T-Mac times.
Okay, Kirkwood, how we doing tech wise? We good to go?
Tech wise, we've had some issues. Computer's a little slow right now. I don't know. I've been having issues. I got rid of like 800 tabs that I've had for a long time.
I've seen Kirk's computer, and yeah, he definitely has 800 tabs up at all times.
You don't close the tabs out at any
Kirk,
point?
I have. So what I do is I have like my set tabs for NFL, NBA, MLB, and I do save them to bookmark, and where I can unload them. But I sometimes keep like them all right there, so I'm ready because I have like, I don't know. It's a process, but it's stupid. But that's not. I've cleaned up the computer, and it's still giving me some issues right now. I don't know if it's because of the new operating system I upgraded or not. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Bobby,
I was near the old spot.
What's up, Bobo?
Yeah, I was near the old spot today. I was near your old house. That's how I found. I was like, how do I get to what's it called across the bay there?
Oh, you got a rub and tug?
No, I didn't. I went to I get ice skating at that tall ship.
Tall ship. Okay. Yeah.
all right, so let's seamlessly segue out of here. Yeah, crunch time with TJ and Kirkwood. That was Bobby Gomes. I was Dean. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Don't go anywhere. TJ's holding it down for the next 40 minutes with Kirkwood. Kirkdiese. Let's do it. Crunch time right now.
Time for some NBA crunch time. We are back after the All-Star break. Two of the sharpest minds in the biz. You got myself and Kirkdiese for you here today, and we're gonna be breaking down nice little slate. It's a fun one. We don't really have much news we're waiting for. I think Grayson Allen's the only piece of injury news that's really still on the slate, and I got Kirkdiese here with me to break it down. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Do you does that feel a little weird to say two of the sharpest minds in the business, me and
including myself? Yeah, it feels like I'm being a little too braggadocious, a little too big of a head here. So, I mean, might as well lock it down. Hit the like button. For those watching us on YouTube right now, subscribe, hit that notification bell. What's your little overview on this slate we're looking at?
Oh boy, so I mean, it's pretty. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm glad that they made it 7 games each, so that's nice. We've got some really good spots to attack. I mean, we've got center value galore, right? We've got a couple of decent studs. I mean, we have like an overpriced Wemby, I'd say, but still, you're paying for the ceiling that he can give you. We've got a great game with a lot of people out with the Pacers in Washington, right? Like, not only is it trimmed down with without Siakam and McConnell, but they get the creme de la creme matchup here against Washington. So that's a fun game. Houston Charlotte is a good game. That's interesting to me. Also Atlanta Philly, we've got some good value on the Philly side potentially without Embiid. Also just the way that little All-Star break, and then like Maxi's going to play 40 minutes tonight. So
I can't remember which one of the guys we're talking about. It was Bobby Dean. Maybe it was even somebody in chat, but I saw somebody saying in chat that they were saying locally that the minutes on Maxi might not be as crazy as they were pre All-Star break, but that wasn't something I was able to verify or anything like that.
Well, we've got a good track record with Nurse, right? Like, does that really sound like something? He just can't help himself. But maybe, I mean, they did get Cameron Payne and bring him in, so obviously he'll be the garbage time eater for sure. But I mean, Philly games have been great, and that's a monster 240 total, so that's a nice spot to attack. We also got Detroit without Duran and Beef Stew. So you get Paul Reed back in the mix. So we've got like these value value center, 3 or 4 value centers that are just all really strong values and cheap. So that's going to be that's just going to shape the slate. Whether you try to pivot on some of those and go for like Wemby and more upside, or just eat that chalk and pick it right, and then build, just be cognizant of it when you're building your overall lineup.
Let's start it off talking point guard over on DraftKings. We're going to have some mega chalk for Tyrese Maxey tonight. You play him in cash. I still think he's a good tournament play as well. I was going to try and get a little and get overweight to Tyrese Maxey, but I did end up only just getting about 40%. I found myself really needing to go cheap at this point guard position a lot of times. And so while I am playing 40% Nembhard, 40% Maxey, 30% Nembhard, I basically just have like a 10 to 20% split of guys like Quentin Grimes, Cam Jones, Nolan Traore, Igor Yeoman, I think is how you actually pronounce it. And then I'm just sprinkling in some Cade Cunningham, some Isaiah Quickly, actually even getting to a little bit of Jose Alvarado. Who do you like at point guard? What are you doing with Maxey?
Did you say Nolan at all? Or is
he's one of those guys who I'm just getting 10 to 15% of.
Yeah. So Maxey is the top stud on this slate. And to me, it just comes down to, yes, Embiid's out. And so that I am a tad bit worried about Dyson Daniels locking him up a little bit, or them throwing 2 at him. But I think they're all good plays. I mean, honestly, I think he could play. He could push 40 minutes if this game stays close and with a 240-point total. And he had a real stinker, I think, in the last one. I think he needed a little break. And, he had a couple of 2 letdown performances, and Philly played awful in their last game against the Knicks. That was pathetic. But this game should be competitive. I think, fresh Maxey coming off the All-Star break, All-Star, got his swag going, potentially upside of 38 to 40 minutes. I like Maxey, and I'm playing Maxey. My
couldn't agree more. Same page here. You got more at point guard?
No, I was just gonna say I love Nembhard too in this. I mean, so you take out Siakam, you take out McConnell. They don't have Benedict Mathurin anymore. Obviously, this is just phenomenal spot. Yes, they're on a back-to-back tomorrow, so this is the front end, but might be a spot where they just let Nembhard go full and then rest him tomorrow, and that's the way I'm playing it. So I think a matchup with Washington, basically anybody on the Pacers is going to look awesome, but Nembhard is a guy who can light it up. So I love him. I think for a stud, Cade Cunningham is in the mix against the Knicks. Maybe people will not want to play him because of the matchup. But I mean, he could outscore Max. So you got to pay a little bit higher of a price for him. But Cade is always in play. Devin Booker, he's been like the cash game play all season. Like, he just hasn't showed like a ceiling. But who are they missing? Their best defender, Canadian. I'm just drawing a blank in my head because I got.
Sorry, I was making fun of Eric Johnson in chat, and I totally missed what you said.
Dylan Brooks. Sorry,
Dylan Brooks. Yeah. You're good. That was my bad, not yours.
No, I was my bad. I was my brain just stopped for a minute. There's a medical reason for that. Anyways, Devin Booker against the Spurs. Like it, because if they're going to hang in this game, it's going to be on Devin Booker's shoulders. And so after the All-Star break too, a little rest, 8,300, good price like that. I'm probably out on LaMelo against Houston. I just don't think he's going to have – I think they're going to lock him up tonight. So I'm out on him. Jalen Brunson, I like the Nets. I mean, the Brooklyn situation with Nolan and Igor. And I also like Emmanuel Quickly. But my favorite, obviously, is the chalk. I love the chalk. I love Nembhard and I love Maxey.
Yeah, my 3 highest owned guys right now at the shooting guard position are all 76ers. Grimes, Edgecombe. Edgecombe's my number 1, but then Edgecombe followed by Oubre and Grimes are my next 2. I didn't have Booker in my pool before, but then I just kind of threw him in because I kind of forgot about the Brooks aspect of things. Booker just has been weird. Like, he just hasn't shown the ceiling this year that he has in past years. But hopefully, like you said, with a little bit of rest coming off the All-Star break, no Brooks in this one.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks has had massive usage all season. Like, he's been a totally different player than we've like known, you know. I mean, we always know like he thinks he's Michael Jordan. Like, I always used to compare him to I don't even remember, but he thinks he's Michael Jordan every time he takes the court, and he's been really good this season, and so they've just ran with it. It's been his team. They've been really happy with him, and so that's a big ask. And I think, is Grayson Allen? Is he questionable, or is there any? Sorry, looking at the game. Grayson Allen's still questionable. We don't have news there, but obviously, if he's out, that's going to be impactful too.
Yeah, Grayson Allen being out would definitely add to the Booker side of things a little bit. Not a ton, but it does put him up to a positive value in our what-if projections right now. I just did a new update. I'm getting 27% Quentin Grimes, which I don't really like. I want to see if I can adjust this a little bit. Might manually bump down his projection so that I don't have to get quite so much Grimes today. But take us over to the shooting guard spot.
Yeah, Grimes is cheap at least. Shooting guard. So this is where I play Edgecombe. He's a chalk here, but he's the cash game play. But also, I do like Grimes. I mean, he's 4,200.
So. Sorry, small forward. I meant shooting guard. We just did.
Okay, I didn't, but
I thought you did. My bad. I thought you started.
It's all right. It's all right.
You can finish up as shooting guard though.
Well, okay, shooting guard. So, like I was saying, like edge, there's a lot of overlap here anyway. But Durant is actually shooting guard eligible tonight. I do like Durant in this spot after all the burner stuff that was pretty fun. Gave us a little entertainment over the break. I wish he was playing. He was playing Phoenix because he talked a lot about Devin Booker, so I would have liked to have him be up for the matchup. Durant for a stud I like tonight, so I have no issues with that. But Edgecombe's my guy, and other than that, for like you can play Igor here too as well. Desmond is no, it's not on the slate. Yeah, that's it.
All right, take us over small forward.
Small forward. Oh, yeah. I had all the games coming through for one. Here, let me just fix that. Okay, small forward. So Jarris Walker, he's chalk. So there's an issue there. Like, I get it why people want to fade him, but he's also a really talented player who's coming into his own finally and getting a bunch of minutes. Has the perfect game to annihilate Washington, just every single which aspect, from points in the paint to blocks to steals. I mean, it's like this is like the perfect game for him. So he's chalk, and I get it. He's cheap. He's 5,900. It is expensive for him, but not in this role. So I like him a lot, and I have no problem playing him even at chalk. You just got to figure out, one piece of your lineup to try to get a little less chalky. Oubre is in play too. With Embiid out, need the scoring, the huge, massive total. You can play Durant here. Already said Brandon Miller's my guy, has always been my guy. I don't even worry about matchups with him too much. It's normally just whether he's on or not, and he's like feeling it, and he'll take it to anybody. So I like him. Michael Porter Jr. I just don't like he's too expensive. He's fine. He's a good play if this game stays competitive and he stays on the court. But if they take him off the court, there's a lot of potential downside there. So that's my risk with him. You can always play Josh Hart or Bridges or one of these New York Knicks guys. That's about it. What are you thinking?
Want to briefly mention, we'll cover this more when we do get to the center position, but Andre Drummond starting over Adem Bona today. So Bona probably not worth getting to, I don't think, anymore now that he's not going to be starting. Minutes probably in that 16 to 20 minute range as opposed to the 24. But Andre Drummond, I do think, is viable at his price tag in the starting lineup. I'm going to be getting to a little bit of him. But small forward today, I'm with you. I'm going to be eating the Jarris Walker chalk, just like really high energy player that, like you said, that's kind of what you want against Washington. It's going to be a fast paced, high turnover game. Just get the guy that's going to be out there running a ton.
And he's good, man. He can do everything. He can literally stuff the stat sheet in this matchup. So it's tough to figure.
I would much rather get him in small forward than power forward, just because I think power forward is actually a very strong, very strong position today, whereas small forward kind of sucks. So I'm getting like 60% Walker, 30% RJ Barrett. Outside of him, just sprinkling in these cheap guys like Will Riley, Jameer Watkins, Kobe Brown, Ben Shepherd. Don't feel good about any of them, but I also don't really feel good about the position as a whole besides Jarris Walker and RJ Barrett. And so outside of those guys, I'm pretty much just punting. I have a touch of Brandon Miller, Michael Porter Jr., Kevin Durant, but certainly not getting to a ton of them today. Power forward, you can play Walker here. I would rather play him at small forward. I'm going to do a ton of Jay Huff, and I'm going to do a ton of Micah Potter. I set a rule that I'm going to play max one of both of those guys. Like, I wouldn't want to play them together because I don't think they're going to be out there together very much. But Potter, I have 30%. Huff, I have 50%, getting to a ton of both of them. Barlow, I'm getting to a fair amount of today. And then if I have to spend up, my favorite one by far is Jalen Johnson. How about you?
Yeah, I have a take. I think I get Potter. I just think Jay Huff is a better offensive player, and that's
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to have like 55% Huff.
Yeah,
Potter's just like my pick.
Huff is an awesome play. I mean, he's just the same thing as Walker. Probably even can do a little more upside with blocks and whatnot, but and less on the scoring than Walker has. But both really solid plays. Love your Jalen Johnson call. I don't know what to do with Scotty Barnes. I kind of like the matchup. The price is like okay. It's not too high for him, but not sure there. So he's definitely on the list, but a little farther down. Şengün, I think nobody's going to play him tonight for the most part. Like what? You might push 10% ownership, somewhere around there, 10 to 15%. Against big man against a thinned out Charlotte team in the paint, and he after a bunch of rest too. So Şengün is definitely a good tournament play in my eyes. Grant Williams is kind of like a cheap punt if you need it, but he's getting a decent amount of ownership, and I don't think you have to go there. So I'd like to hear your thoughts if you're getting any Grant Williams.
I am, but I'll probably be under the field. Like, I just don't like the idea of playing. Oh, damn. I just got 29% in my most recent one. I don't like that. I'm going to bump down his projection a little bit just so I get less Grant Williams today. I just don't like the idea of playing into Grant Williams chalk. Like, I will get some of him because he's projecting for a good value, but like, I understand that he's a bit of a different player now than who he was on the Celtics. He's a little bit more involved, but that dude just never would do anything at all and was like an auto.
He's not even that much different. He's like 3 and D, and like
I don't know. Yeah, not for me. I'm with you there. Like, I'd like to be underweight. I'm rebuilding right now, so I can get less.
All right. That's about it. So I'll take us over to center. Okay, so we got this is where we got to make the sausage here. So we've got Day'Ron Sharpe coming off of 50 burger, right? Where he got to start like 31 minutes, had about 20% usage, but stuffed the stat sheet. I've got nothing bad to say to him. They're 16-point dogs, so I do worry about like that last quarter run for him. They may keep him out there, they may not. But I don't know. I think he's cheap enough at 5,900 that there's just a lot of upside there, and I think he's got a high enough floor to not really kill you. Paul Reed is in the same boat here, 5,700. He had a massive game in his last one, and with Beef Stew and Durant out, he had 25% usage when he was on the floor for 33 minutes. He was, we know this guy can stuff the stat sheet, so I like him. We've got Jay Huff that we've already talked about. Then we've got Vucevic, Tristan Vucevic for Washington, with Sarr out 4,300, and now we've got Drummond, 42. So all these guys are awesome plays. From there, like if you want to try to get different and take the upside route, you can try to play Wemby, you can try to play Şengün, you could Cat probably can bring it against Paul Reed. So there's a lot of ways you can go here.
Yeah, this center spot, like if you're playing on DraftKings, you're definitely playing 2 centers today.
Yeah.
Play Huff at the power forward position so you can play 3 centers. I'll have Huff, Vukcevic, and Day'Ron Sharp all in my cash game today. Want to just load up on as much of those guys as much as I possibly can. And then as a spend up, I'm just playing a ton of Wemby tonight. I have 30% Wemby on DraftKings. I do have a little bit of Reed, a little bit of Andre Drummond, some Şengün, some Towns. But Wemby is the guy that I'm most likely to spend up with. Outside of Maxey, he's my favorite spend up on the slate for tournaments. I think I'd rank them Maxey 1, Wemby 2, and Jalen Johnson 3 for the guys that I'm most likely to get to. But big fan of Wemby today. Anything else you want to hit on DK before we move it over to FanDuel?
No, just how nuts that Wemby performance against the Lakers was. You know, that it was blowout, so he didn't get the big second half, or but his first half was just like freaking incredible. So Wemby brings that upside. They shouldn't be resting him much at all. If the game's competitive, they're going to need him. So Wemby's an awesome play tonight.
All right, let's switch over to FanDuel. But before we do, I want to tell everybody about PickLabs, the newest RotoGrinders feature that lets you scan the best player prop and pick and bets in seconds. Everything broken down for you from edges and win rates to value. It's a clean board showing you which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. And when you see something you like, PickLabs builds a slip and sends it straight to the book of your choice. You can find PickLabs at rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. You'll be wondering how this wasn't a thing already. Go make some picks. Plus, and man, I don't even need to do the NASCAR promo, because if you looked on social media, you've seen that RotoGrinders subscribers have been taking everything down. I think first place, second place, maybe a third place in there as well over the Daytona. People getting 500K, 150K, tons and tons of money. But NASCAR projections are live for the 2026 season, including projections from RotoDoc and Stevie TPFL. You'll get access to articles and videos in RotoGrinders breaking down each race. The Lineup HQ optimizer will come preloaded with ownership projections, for the trucks, NOAPS, and Cup Series. Additionally, you'll receive access to Stevie's betting picks as well as exclusive access to the NASCAR channel in the RotoGrinders Discord. FanDuel, point guard. Who do you like, Kirkdiese?
Yeah, so this is a lot of the same names. So Tyrese Maxey, a little more expensive, but like him, top stud of the slate for me. Nembhard, again, like him. You can play Dyson Daniels. His price has been coming down a little bit. I think he's got upside on FanDuel with his steals and blocks and whatnot. Manuel quickly. I don't mind for the price tag. He's kind of that mid-tier 6,900 against the Bulls that are just going to be really weak defensively now for the rest of the season going on out. So Manuel quickly could take over for stretches and put up a nice score. Devin Booker again is in play. Edgecombe too, but I'd play him at shooting guard. You're gonna need basically Maxey or Nembhard, I think, and then go from there. But Igor is in play over here again too, like TJ said, over from DraftKings. De'Aaron Fox is like, I think he's interesting I think he's 7,300. If this game breaks right, I think he can put up a big game coming off All-Star weekend. It's going to be really pretty lowish owned. So I like him, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's not as strong as a position as we're used to seeing it. Nembhard, Maxey, definitely the top two. You play those guys in cash, as well as Gillespie, probably because of that $5,600 price tag. Over here on FanDuel, way better play than on DraftKings. Don't really have anything else to add here at the position. Like, I feel like you covered it, plus the stuff that we hit on DraftKings. Just not as strong of a point guard position as we are typically used to. Shooting guard, you can play Gillespie and Nembhard over here. as well as VJ Edgecombe. All three of those are really good play today's cash game plays. RJ Barrett, same thing. Probably want to play him at the small forward spot, though. Brandon Miller is a little bit cheaper here on FanDuel. And then Quentin Grimes, I think, is probably going to be my favorite cheap value. Who do you like at shooting guard?
Yeah, it's the same. I was just going to say take the Nemhard and then just an Edgecombe and then just add Gillespie, Brandon Miller, Emmanuel quickly again. A lot of the same players plus the guys that you like. But, yeah, I like Brandon Miller. I think he's going to go off tonight.
All right, small forward.
All right, small forward. All right, Naismith's cheap. He does have big ceiling. We've seen it. It comes out in rare occasions. He gets a bunch of steals and hits a bunch of threes. This is against Washington, so all of these guys are good plays. The entire starting lineup is a good play. So from there, you've got Walker again. He's probably my favorite on the Pacers of all. I just think he's going to stuff the stat sheet. I think it's the perfect matchup for him. Oubre is decent play for upside here against the Hawks with that massive total. RJ Barrett, his minutes are coming up, and they might even be completely full now that we're after the All-Star break here. So he's cheap, still has a cheapish price tag that will start trending up, I'm sure. So RJ Barrett against the Bulls, definitely in play. Brandon Ingram against the Bulls, definitely in play. You can play Quentin Grimes, like you said. And I'll say it again over here, too. I like Kevin Durant tonight.
Yeah, like you said, Walker is definitely the top play with Barrett very close alongside him. I'm personally hitting the X button on Aaron Nesmith today. I saw somebody in the YouTube chat asking if he's cash viable. He is for sure. I'm just Xing him out because I never really like playing Aaron Nesmith into chalk. He's going to be projecting 30% on plus on FanDuel, 20, 25 on DraftKings. That's just going to be a no for me. Typically not somebody I view as a very high ceiling performer. I'd rather pivot to Tobias Harris, Will Riley, because I kind of feel like that's basically just the exact same play as an Aaron Nesmith at a fraction of the ownership. I really like Brandon Ingram on FanDuel, where he's only 7,700, small forward, power forward eligible. Love him as a pivot off of RJ Barrett. I even think you can play them both together against a team like Chicago. Power forward position, who do you like?
All right. Well, I do like Naismith, and you can play him here too as well. The only reason I like Naismith just because he's 5,100, so it's I think he's going to do well tonight. So I'm on a little bit different side of you, but I get it not playing him at chalk.
It's a bit of a personal bias. Like he was just one of those guys that I look at and go, I don't like it, and so I never do it.
He's like, I can't click Grant Williams. That's
yeah.
Even though it's 4K, I just have this thing with Grant Williams. So this is Kevin Durant again. You can play Potter here at 4,400. Powerful. You could play Potter and Huff together. It's not the greatest. They're probably going to eat into each other, so I wouldn't totally recommend it. But if the game breaks a certain way and everybody just goes off against them, I could see it working out. But I probably wouldn't play them together personally. Wemby is power forward eligible here. Price is high, but you can end up needing him if he goes absolutely berserk and he gets more minutes now and this game stays close. So this is where Wemby is going to start looking really good lately after the All-Star break now, as long as he stays healthy. Jalen Johnson, I think 11.5. I just can't click Jalen Johnson at 11.5 when I can get Wemby for the same price. They're both awesome, but and they're probably both overpriced too. So these other plays that I mentioned for earlier are better plays, grayed out as better plays for sure. And Scotty Barnes would make that list as well. And that's about it. Again, you can play Şengün here at power forward. I was considering, playing him here on FanDuel tonight.
Yeah, a Şengün, a Towns, a Wemby, all three of those options I think are going to be really good. High upside, low owned options today with most people spending down or in the mid range. But outside of those super cheap options, like I could see Jalen Johnson, Wembanyama, Şengün, Towns, maybe even a Scotty Barnes having like potential slate breaking performances. So I do think it's really interesting to do a contrarian spend up at this spot for tournaments. Instead of your Jarris Walkers, your Grant Williams is here. Center spot, strongest position on the slate. If somebody has power forward eligibility, play them there instead of at center. How would you rank Sharp, Puff, Reed?
It's tough. So I like them all. I would rank it Sharp, Reed, Huff, and only that way because I can get other Pacers instead of Huff in the lineup and that end up working out. Because I'm going to be playing a lot of Pacers. So taking Sharp or Reed, I think because they're really strong plays, or Vucevic is probably the way I do it. So, but I like them. I like them all. So I'll go Sharp, Reed, Huff, Vucevic.
I think Vucevic and Kalkbrenner are both somewhat viable pivots off of the three guys who are going to be super highly owned today. But my favorite's probably Drummond, $4,800. Not the same guy that we knew from a point per dollar standpoint, but he probably feels like the best bet for me to match that kind of upside that we could get from Huff and Sharp as well as Reed. If I'm spending up, Wemby is going to be my guy. But again, Wemby, Şengün, Towns, play him at power forward. If they have the eligibility, play him over at power forward. Anything else you want to mention on FanDuel before we start hitting some QQs?
You like a little cock tonight? Cock of the walk? Kalkbrenner?
I don't. I'm not getting there. Nice, Steve. I'm not getting there on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, where he's cheaper than those other guys and he's not going to have any ownership at all, I think it's a little viable.
I think it's definitely viable because of his price. And so you look at like Daron Sharp, right? Like he's an awesome play, but they're down six. They're 16-point underdogs. That could end up going poorly. There is a path to go poorly. Paul Reed, Knicks are a strong matchup with Cat and Mitchell Robinson, where he'll see some minutes against too. That so maybe that ends up failing. Huff is probably going to be pretty decent regardless, but you can definitely beat them with Drummond or I think Kalkbrenner too, because Diabate is out, right? Yeah.
All right, let's start taking some questions. If you got any questions, get them in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. I'm going there first. I'm going to YouTube second. YouTube, free content. After a break, smash that like button for us. It's all we ask is that you give that like button a little click. QQ, can I play Durant in cash? This is a two-part question. First part, as like a last piece, sure. Second part, is it too risky to get off Maxey? You absolutely cannot play Durant over Maxey in cash. You have to play Maxey in cash. Tournaments, that's a different story. You can look to make some pivots, but Tyrese Maxey must play in cash games together today. DK, GPP, Kirkdiese, are you okay with playing Maxey and Edgecombe together?
Yeah, because they're just thinned out without Embiid, and it's a really strong matchup with a monster total, so they can both get there.
Neither of these guys were on my radar for cash, but NBA DFS asking DK cash, you want Drummond or Yeoman?
Or who? Devin?
Yeah, Devin.
I pronounce it wrong, whatever. I would take Drummond.
I would too, but the thing I will say is, like, at that utility position, you should be playing Daron Sharp as well as Tristan Vukcevic. Those are the two cash game plays over on DK. So you might want to adjust those a little bit, maybe get Vukcevic in instead of a Drummond or a Yeoman. Yahoo single entry. You want Anthony Black against Sacramento, or do you want Emmanuel Quickly?
Give me Quickly. Durant
or Booker, DK GPPs. I like Booker on that one. I'm with Kirkdiese and what he said a little bit earlier. No Dylan Brooks, still got Grayson Allen as questionable. I do like Booker for a tournament option today. Let's switch over to the YouTube chat. Is Cooper in play at PG for Washington?
So this is a Lip. Did Lip ask that?
No, that's Lord King Guru, but asking about Sharif Cooper projected for 20 minutes. Has had 4 pretty big games in prior to the All-Star break.
Yeah, I have. He wasn't on my radar at all.
I kind of forgot about him, but he was in my pool before I started cutting things down. Like he was in my initial pool, and then I had to start making some cuts to get it down a little bit smaller. And so I got rid of him at that point. What do you think about Cam Jones as a value play?
I think it's possible. It's pretty thin, but I don't mind it.
Lip asking me if I'm excited for Screen 7. Nope, not even a little bit. On FanDuel, one center is hard with only Sharp, Vukcevic, and Huff. Yes, it is, Mikey Smokes. If you're only picking one of those guys, who do you like best? Sharp, Vukcevic, Huff.
On FanDuel?
Yeah.
So it's Sharp.
Couldn't agree more. Who do you like better, Oubre or Neesmith tonight? I'm on the Oubre side.
So I think they're both strong plays. I honestly, I know I hate to do this in front of TJ because he's also against me, but I like just because of the cheaper price on Naismith. If they were priced the same, I would take Oubre, but honestly, I'm probably playing them both.
Speaking of playing them both, I got both these guys in cash, Oubre or RJ Barrett. If picking one of them, RJ Barrett definitely the guy though. DK GPP 4,500 or less for guard. That's going to be Grimes for me for sure. Yeah, Traore can't quite get there, so Grimes definitely the one that I'd be looking to go with at 4,500 or less. FanDuel cash, you want Wemby or Jalen Johnson?
I probably wouldn't have either. I don't have either for cash, but if I had to choose one, I would take Wemby.
That's how I feel too. LaMelo Ball or Amen Thompson, DK GPP. I would go Ball there, but I don't really like either of them today. DK is doing a 3-point crown challenge. Who do you like to hit more threes? Brandon Miller and Sam Merrill, or Jarris Walker and Matas Buzelis?
The first, Brandon Miller is gonna light it up tonight.
Yeah, I think I'd go that first one there as well. Last guy in at PF, you want at power forward, you want Micah Potter, Barlow, or Grant Williams?
I kind of like Barlow.
Yeah, I got no problem going Barlow there either. He says he's got Huff at center, so like if you didn't have Huff, I'd go Potter. But assuming you have Huff there, I would probably go Barlow as well. FanDuel cash, Barrett or Quickly?
Barrett.
Okay, I agree there, although Quickly has been playing better lately. DK GPP, do you want to play Nemhard with 3 other Pacers already in the lineup, or would you pivot to a Giddey or a Quickly?
I think you can. I think you can get away with playing a lot of Pacers tonight. This matchup is just insane, so I think they're all going to do pretty well. But I would probably take. I think Quickly's in a good spot, and so I would take. Probably take 3 Pacers and throw Quickly in there.
I think that would be my first choice as well. Similar question here from Link 182. Rue already playing 3 Sixers, so he's got 3 Sixers already in the lineup. Large field DK, would you go Edgecombe or CJ McCollum? I think I'm still going Edgecombe there regardless. I just don't like CJ.
He was doing all right. He's just not going to get the huge minutes probably. Yeah, I guess Edgecombe is the better play.
Grayson Allen officially ruled out. And so that makes this next question on YouTube a lot more interesting because they were asking, last piece on FanDuel's shooting guard, is it okay to go Jordan Goodwin with no Dylan Brooks? I would have said no, but with Grayson Allen out as well, I would go yes. I think that is viable now with no Grayson Allen or Dylan Brooks. Giddey or Fox, DK GPP, I would go Fox on that one.
Yeah.
I think we have hit all of the questions with about a minute and a half here left until lock. Who do you got tonight as your slate breaker? Who is taking everything down?
It's got to be a breaker, huh? God, I like too much chocolate. It's bad. I'm gonna
That's
say
what I was gonna say, like the only guy that I'm quite heavy on that's not pretty chalky is Victor Wembanyama, which
I was just gonna say it's gonna be
overall,
Wemby, but that's who I would say is Wemby.
that's what I think is going to happen as well. I like some Wemby. Run it back with some Devin Booker on the other side, or if you're playing on FanDuel,
Dude, what he did
last week.
what he did against the Lakers was that in that game. I mean, they were so pathetic; they had nobody, but it was just insane. And the All-Star game, like he just like my girl never watches basketball or like except the Celtics, and then she's like, "Who is this Wembanyama guy?" I was like, "Yeah, this guy. He's 7'6" or whatever the hell he is, and he can dribble like a point guard, and he can smash a three like Steph Curry all game."
Pretty exciting stuff. Did you see that Cooper Flagg's debut jersey went for more money in an auction than Wemby's? That seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
I think Flagg's incredible, and he's going to be incredible, but Wemby is like.
The thing about Wemby is it's like you got to dodge in. How far can Wemby's career go, and how far can he not get injured?
Yeah,
and to like impact his play. Cooper is going to be like ridiculous and healthy all his career, I'm afraid now, and be awesome. And I hate it.
It's a little scary. It's a little scary. That'll do it for today's show. We will see you again tomorrow. Hit the like button on your way out if you have not done so already. On behalf of myself, Kirkdiese, Steve doing an incredible job behind the scenes. We will see you next time. Peace.